Okay. Oh, we're live. Hey, we're live. I didn't say anything about Twitter. No. Twitter's great. Hi everybody. How are you? Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming by. It was odd to not have, the camera on. Hannah, now Mom's calling on my phone. That won't mess anything up at all. I mean, it'll be fine.
You can't answer calls during the stream.
No, we have learned that. We've learned that, haven't we, friends? Hello. Hi, everybody. It's much better. Good. It is better. It's going to be better. And hopefully, Mom, Hannah, will you text Mom? This is so much fun.
I sure will.
Oh, all the devices.
I'll use the 15-second delay.
Yeah. Hannah, use the device from the other place on the planet, and then we can do the thing, and we can sync the. Oh my God.
So here's the thing: is that you're gonna have to. Hang on a second.
I could send her a Zoom link.
Yeah, send her a link. You know what? Send a link, and then she can patch in with the thing, and then they have this new feature where you can pipe the thing into the thing, and you just paste the link into the thing, and then you do, and then it works. It's fun. It's fun. You know what I have? This is kind of appropriate. We're starting over. We're starting the whole show over again. And maybe there will be 10 people here. That's totally fine. Because you know what? You're my... Is that Lou? Is that your dog, Hannah? Is that your dog howling at the moon?
Yes.
You know what I have to say about that? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh, hi, Mom. See, Mom's on the stream. We don't have to text her because she's already here. She's with us. She's with us now through another platform. Oh, that's right. Oh, the green screen's so cool. It makes popcorn look like it's molding. It's great. You know what? I'll tell you. Hey, Dee Dee. Hey, Druid. Oh, God. Druid Godmother. Oh, my God. So, Druid Godmother, Hannah, Stephanie, we're starting over, and it's great. It's actually my favorite show I've ever done. I'm just saying the energy is very good. Druid Godmother, when she comes into the chat, Hannah, she calls me Sugar.
Which makes everything better.
She makes everything better. When you call somebody Sugar, you're like, hey, Sugar. It's like, what do you have to complain about? Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. So, okay, so everything's fine. Mom saw me, before the stream, and I was terribly stressed. And now I'm fine.
I've never not seen you be terribly stressed
out. Oh, God.
Stream, actually.
You know what? You're right. Someone described me as neurotic the other day. I was like, damn it! When you hear the truth, you know.
Oh, it's different.
Hannah, what is actually Stephanie Cake? Thank you for hanging in there. Can you give me a definition of neurotic, please? It's the holiday week, by the way. Everything's a crack up. We're rolling with it tonight. I told Stephanie, I was like, remember, this is supposed to be a good time. We shouldn't worry so much, it's a live stream. We hang out. There's no time limit. There's no rules. Maybe tonight we get to South African quilts. Maybe we don't. Maybe we watch this amazing video about this woodworker who makes wooden quilts. And we watch this other thing, and we talk about Bertha Mexroth. I don't know.
We're really gonna do that?
I don't know, Hannah. So
hey,
what does neurotic mean, Stephanie?
Do you want my definition, or do you want Merriam-Webster's?
I want Merriam, and then I want yours.
Maybe I'll just give you mine first.
Oh, yeah.
Just, a little twitchy, a little high-strung.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, Hannah? Right?
Yeah, I would say, neurotic is and neurosis is sort of like a problematic thought, like a recurring thought pattern and behavior.
Yeah.
So it's usually fueled by a lack of self-knowledge about the trigger of it.
Oh, I know all my triggers.
You're just leaning in heavy.
Oh, I know my triggers. My triggers.
Stop that shit.
My triggers keep me warm at night. Okay.
Oh yeah.
My triggers are all my petty. Oh, I was thinking about Dorothy Parker. All my petty, something are dead. All my petty loves are dead. And anyway, yeah, I was thinking about Dorothy Parker.
Oh, do you know what? I came across a quote. I have a running list in my notes app of genius quotes.
Oh.
And one of them is honestly, I think Dorothy Parker was probably a real pill to be around.
Oh, well, she was also terribly, terribly ill substance abuse. She was an
Yes.
alcoholic.
Yes.
Bad.
Yes.
Yeah, but please.
And bless her heart, but she did have a quote about saying that this wasn't just normal terrible. This was fancy terrible. This was terrible with raisins in it. Speaking about some I don't know, I don't even know. I have to watch to track it back and find out what in the world she was talking about. But probably a piece of writing or theater or something. She was like, yeah, this is fancy terrible. It's terrible with raisins.
Fancy
like,
terrible with raisins in it. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. And you know what? Some people are gonna be into this, and some people are gonna be like, I'm cutting out.
Hey, wait a second. How can Myra Crone see me?
She can't see.
It was from before when she could see.
Oh, I was like,
Yes, and she was commenting on your fabulous nude lip and would like to know more.
You know,
And also, do you prefer haberdashery to notions?
oh, that's very good.
haberdashery is also a weird word, but that's suit making, right?
No, the haberdasher. I used to think it was like that, Hannah. But I mean, it is. But it's notions. If you go to the haberdashery, you can get buttons and thread.
I see. Okay, right. So haberdashery is the purveyor of notions?
I believe so. Cake.
I don't like either one of them.
So I just want to say, and hey, Robin, everybody, you're getting audio skipping and video freezing video. Robin, did you refresh? I know it's a very simple, you probably did like 5 times, but you might want to. You know what Quilting Politics says, aren't we a little neurotic in every way? Oh my God, did you see this note from Mom, Hannah? Hi, Nan.
Yes, I was just going to say.
There's a chicken burger and a glass of vino waiting for me. Well, we've got a little work to do, Mom. So you know what? Not ready. Here, what I was going to do
by
is...
the way, the lip color. The lip color is Spike.
Yeah.
Mac. Spike by Mac.
Spike?
I'll put it in the chat. Never mind me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I've got my own means
Put it
here.
in the chat. Okay, you ready for this? I'm going to drop some Dorothy Parker on you. You ready? God, I probably won't remember it all. It's a very short poem, and I'm going to recite it for you, but the way tonight's going, I'm not going to remember it, but let's see. And if he's gone away, said she, good riddance, if you're asking me. I'm not a one to lie awake and weep for anybody's sake. There's better lads than him about. I'll wear my buckled slippers out, a-dancing till the break of day. I'm better off with him away. And if he never come, said she, then what on earth is it to me? I wouldn't have him back. I hope her mother washed her mouth with soap. Woo! 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 Yeah. Anyway, I got a lot of these up here. I got a lot of poems up there. Okay. So anyway, that's the poetry recitation. And now we're gonna, hey Kay, God. Oh, okay, you came right on time.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Let's take a look at this quilt. So you know what? I am giving us permission. That's what I'm doing, Hannah. Tonight, we have permission to have a good time. It's the holiday week. It's the holiday week. Things are crazy. Some people are working. Some people are not working. Kay is headed to New York City.
Nashville.
No, New York City.
Oh.
Everybody's on a different schedule. And if you're not, you are in spirit, you know? Please be in spirit, be in a different place. Okay. Oh, I gotta get small. Hang on. I gotta get small. Now, everything changed because Hannah's not on screen, but we're gonna make this work. Hey, Susan. Oh, God bless you. No, it's Kay, you missed nothing. You gotta look back and watch again. Okay, so all I want to say about this quilt that we've all been enjoying is that it's called Floral on Cheddar, and I thought it was a nice traditional quilt for a nice traditional week, and we're all gonna have a great time, and we're gonna get along. Sorry, it's turkey red.
For once, I'd like this family to just get along.
Yeah, exactly. Can we just have a nice meal?
For once.
I made this food and I try. Okay, it's called Floral on Cheddar, which sounds to me like Stratford upon Avon, or like Floral on Cheddar, James on Maine, or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's 76 by 84 inches. It was made in 1875, which is right in that cheddar turkey red time. And I thought it was really awesome. I mean, look at all that cheddar fabric, man. Hannah, did you know it's called cheddar?
No, but I feel like I don't know what the heck else you'd call it. That is the cheddariest orangey yellow I've, yeah.
That you ever did see.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and cheddar's like super, it's like super sexy. It's also called antimony, and which is a great word, right? Antimony, right? Yeah. And chrome.
Antimony or antimony?
Oh, hold up. Have you heard this word spoken and you think it's antimony?
No, but it seems like one of those words that you'd say antimony your whole freaking life, like I probably would, and then somebody would be like, no, actually, it's antimony.
Actually, it's antimony, and you'd be like,
I suspect it may be.
It's interesting. Speaking of having fun and talking about words and things, Christina, dear Christina Vyers,
yes.
she had, I think it was either her friend or her aunt's friend. She didn't. She watched her stories, right? She watched her soap operas, and she was maybe from another country. I don't know. She mispronounced words, and she would say that man on Days of Our Lives, he's a bad guy. He misled her, that woman, and it was these malapropisms, and it was like misled, and they figured out she was saying misled. He misled her. But she pronounced it misled, and it's like totally the best way to say it. It's like that should definitely be pronounced that way. Anyway, so this I have just a little bit about this quilt. It's from the Christ collection, the Christ collection. I think it's speaking of
wasn't where he's a collector, but
yeah, Christ collected quilts. No, but Mr. and Mrs. Christ or Christ, America's Applique Quilts. There was an exhibit. And all what we can say about this was in that exhibit at the time, which was this is the exhibit catalog, which my mother has. It would have been in a year. A cheddar orange fabric was used as the background, creating a bold and vibrant visual effect, right? And the little green bars on the side, you all are just it's from the layout of the exhibition catalog, so you needn't concern yourself with that. The background of the quilt was pieced for size, increasing the width to accommodate for the design. In addition to the 4 larger floral designs, you will notice 4 smaller vases. Oh yes, including, holding a bouquet of flowers. Yes, oh yes, I see them. Oh, they're cute. See, I didn't notice those vases. The center of the quilt is a wreath of flowers completing the balance. Reverse applique was used effectively throughout the quilt. Reverse applique, oh yeah. Right up in here, that's reverse applique. Cool. The quilting consists of parallel lines in the center of the quilt, while the quilting conforms to the design on the inner border. Cool. Cable quilting was used on the outer border and does not turn the corner. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, you know what this reminds us of? Cable quilting. So you see, Hannah, those. Yeah, that's the cable shape. The cable. You see it on the outside border on the chrome.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's just a pattern. It's not a method.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. It's a very good question. I mean, it's a very good thing to note. And exactly, it's just the pattern.
Gotcha.
It's not a method. But yeah, that's you really know what you're talking about, Hannah. I mean, you really do. I mean, that's like a really good question. That's like, Hannah's not a quilt maker, but like she's like, cable quilting, what's that? And I'm like, it's right there. And my sister, because she grew up in the Fons household, she knows very well that there's a quilting pattern, and then there are quilting techniques. And you were like, I've never heard of cable quilting. That's great. Good job.
Thank you.
You're a quilt nerd.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. When people do super quilt nerdy things, I have a special sound cue that I don't think we had when you were here last. Are you ready for it? Here we go. You're going to totally recognize it.
That's what I do. I invented Post-its.
From Romy and Michelle. Hey, Saucy Stitcher, thank you so much. And Quilt District, I saw you when I was working on getting this stream back up. I saw that you subscribed, and that's amazing. And I really appreciate you, everybody who subscribed. Thank you so much. I'm scrolling back through. I'll find you.
We got an answer about cheddar.
Oh, yeah, we got an answer about cheddar. Cool. So Penny Catherine says, Hannah, you want to read it? Go ahead.
Sure. It says, when cheddar cheese was originally produced centuries ago in England, it had an orange tint thanks to the type of grass eaten by the cows that supplied the milk for the cheese.
Whoa.
Came to be associated with cheddar cheese, and cheesemakers have been adding pigment to the cheese ever since. there is no discernible flavor difference between orange or white cheddar cheese. I object. I think they're totally different.
Really?
I mean,
You know what?
I don't know.
You know what?
No, they don't. They don't.
Hannah's upset.
But I recall reading in the Little House on the Prairie books, the Laura Ingalls Wilder ones, about Ma squeezing carrot drippings, like using carrot squeezings to tint their cheese.
Really? No.
Because otherwise it was just white, and they thought it looked. And also, or no, maybe it was butter. It might have been both, actually.
I think both of them. I think it was considered finer if finer cheese or butter if it had that tinge, because it meant the cows had very good grazing land.
Oh,
And I think it's the beta carotene. Like if they produce more beta carotene, and it makes that orangey yellow.
Yep.
So Ma Ingalls was cheating?
Ma Ingalls was. She just wanted to have nice things, and she was living in a freaking shack. So just let her have it.
And you know what? Whatever, Ma Ingalls. You needed to do what you
If she
needed to do.
if she wants to squeeze carrot shavings to get orange cheese, God bless her.
Ma quilted by the light of a single candle.
Totally.
We let her put carrot drippings in her butter.
Exactly. She had you wear 3 different petticoats and milk a cow. And she,
God, Ma was smart wonky. You know what? I feel I want quilting politic. Hello. I want to go through the whole call the roll and say thank you for anyone who's hanging in there right tonight.
Oh, and of course that cheese lore came from wisconsincheese.com.
Oh, did it really? Well, they
Indeed.
would know.
Of course they would know. Oh my God, go to the masters, right?
They would know. Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about this woodworker, but I made a wonderful discovery tonight. So people the co-working streams too have been, we were talking about this a little bit because one of the things I'm working on, Nan, you don't know about this, but I'm doing some research. For I want to write a thing, okay? That's all I'm going to say, but I want to write a thing, and I want to, I'm doing research about this woman, Bertha Mextroth, okay? And this is Bertha, okay, here below the chat. And just briefly, because we've talked about Bertha, and she'll come up again, as this project goes on, but she was, she died in 61, okay? And she lived in the Chicago area, and she went to Radcliffe for a hot second. Bertha Mextroth was born again, like 1870. Anyway, she was born in Wisconsin, came into Chicago. The point is that she was very small, and she had an undiagnosed case of polio when she was younger. That's what we think, which is why she walked with a limp, and she was small. And her nickname was Birdie, okay? Birdie. And her sister, I'm giving you all like the high points, the very fascinating tidbits of information about this woman. Her sister married Mr. Sears of Sears and Roebuck, okay?
Okay.
Right? So Birdie wanted to be a sculptor, but she was too small.
Yes, I've heard of her.
Dude, we may have talked about it. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with her.
Yes.
So Birdie couldn't be a sculptor because she was too small and she couldn't lift the stones. And she was also like a total spitfire. Like she was wild. She was a wild woman. She used to drive her little coupe like all, over speed bumps. I mean, she was crazy. But I don't know. I shouldn't say that. She was eccentric and awesome and extremely talented. Anyway, by the way, okay, so I'm working on something about her. And it's been really, I want to write a chapter of a book that would have 12 different amazing stories of amazing quilt people of women who these stories have never been told to a wider audience. And I just want to give Birdie I want to give her something, man. Because she made amazing quilts. And when she died, she wanted all her quilts to stay together. She left money for them to stay together. And nobody cared. And the people, the kids, the relatives fought over the inheritance, and all of her quilts were scattered to the wind. And by the way, what I meant to say about Radcliffe, do you know, and this is something I don't think I've talked to people in the show about, one of her friends at Radcliffe was Helen Keller. Yeah, Helen Keller of Helen Keller fame.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and yep, and Birdie, and this is where, truly, the whole. Hey, will you just give me a break here? The whole, quilt nerd thing about, we look at quilts, and quilts bring us the whole world. They show the whole world to us if we look close enough. Bertha Mextroth, she learned Braille. The woman who made this quilt learned Braille so that she could translate a book for Helen Keller when they were in Radcliffe.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the book that she translated, that she made into a book for Helen Keller in Braille, was Sonnets from the Portuguese by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Now, I don't know my Elizabeth Barrett Browning very well, but her sonnets are, How Do I Love Thee? Let Me Count the Ways. I Love You to the Breath of My Mouth. So on the plane to Iowa, by the way, if you just came in, this is the stream where we're just having fun and we're hanging out because it's a crack up. So I'm just telling you the story that on the way to Iowa, I looked up Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I was like, what is Sonnets from the Portuguese? What book did Birdie make into Braille for Helen Keller? These sonnets, have you read them lately? I had not. I had never read them. They
Not
are
lately.
unreal. They are so beautiful. They are so sexy. Elizabeth Barrett Browning wrote them for Robert Barrett Browning. And they were like, and they couldn't be together. And oh my God. They're hot. 1845 or something. Anyway, so today, the reason I'm showing you this is 'cause today I was pulling content for the show, and there's so much of it. I know you can tell, but I found another Mexroth quilt, and it's this one. And this is one I did not know about, and it's from the Enduring Grace. It's at the Shelburne, you guys, and this is a huge thing. When I find a Bertha Mexroth quilt, Hannah, I'm very excited because this is part of my research. This one is called Under His Wings. It was made in 1930. She made, I can't wait, Hannah, to show you what I write, right? So I can send it to you and you can edit it and read it for me. But she made these Art Deco, look at the quilting on this thing. She was insanely talented.
I think you may have brought her up the very first time I guested on the show.
Hannah, it's possible. I should stop talking about her, to be honest.
Yeah, and just
Hey, Kathy. Yeah. Go on.
And she had a really interesting use of color, that did not seem of her time. She was really, really interesting.
Yes.
She did the bats, right? Didn't she? The gray bats?
Yes, she did. Yes. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's what I do. I invented Post-its.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly, the gray bats. And so I bring her up again today because I've been thinking about her, but also because I found this quilt in that Shelburne book on Mom's shelf, and I had not seen it. Crazy. It just sort of defies, what is this? I want to. I mean, what's cool is that the Shelburne has this, and I know people there, so I can hopefully go there. Fancy, right? I mean, that was totally sorry, I said fancy, ooh, fancy, Mary. But I do know people at the Shelburne, and I could probably go see the quilt and whatever. It's true, and maybe they have other ones, but I can't understand what's going on here. Is this reverse applique, or is this applique? The quality of the photo isn't quite. Carrie Dell's here. Hi. Hannah, Carrie Dell is the executive director of AQSG, and she is amazing. Okay. We had a weird start. We had to start the stream over again, Carrie, so I shouldn't even say it. You just forget it. Okay. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. So anyway, Hannah, Bertha Mexroth. Okay. So we've got some different things to talk about tonight. Hey, Opossum, what's up? Opossum's here. This is great. It's good to see you. So this, Hannah, I want to talk to you. I wanted to share this with you, and we're gonna play a game tonight that we played maybe the first time Hannah was on the show, or maybe I don't know. But the Name That Date quilt game, where I show Hannah.
It's the first time.
So what is it?
Yeah, I think it was the first. I think the first time I was on the show, we did that.
But what did you call it? You had a good name for it. Was it Name That Date?
Wasn't there a Hot or Not? Was there a Hot or Not?
Hot or Not.
Does Hannah like it?
Yeah, does Hannah like it? With Mom, it was called Hot or Not. With Hannah, it was called Does Hannah Like It? Which is perfect, but I don't know why I changed. Does Hannah like it? You know what?
It covers so much stuff. Hey, you're so Brussels sprouts. I'm nope. Hannah does not like it.
You know what? I think it's because I'm her younger sister, and she taught me everything I know, and I worshipped her. I mean, I still do, obviously, but I'm talking about when we were growing up. And it's do I like this thing? This, song, clothing item, actor, movie, book? I don't know. Does Hannah like it? If not,
listen,
I don't
you were
even.
very much. You were so very much your own person. I mean, I would if you had stuck with that policy. I mean, you would have been listening to Nine Inch Nails instead of Tori Amos. So.
But Nine Inch Nails and Tori Amos, totally off that. But yeah, I had diverged. I did a little more of the. You never listened to Ani DeFranco. Let's put it that way.
Well, okay, yeah. That's a whole nother story. I accidentally went to a concert of hers here in New York a number of years ago.
Accidentally? You didn't tell me?
Totally. Yeah, dude. All I'll say this is that my ex, Ron, if you will recall, was a big fan of Ani DeFranco, oddly, and he was like, hey, let's go to this concert. It was like, awesome.
That makes no sense. I met Ron. Like, that makes no sense
whatsoever. None. And we were at a show at the Beacon Theater with your usual Ani DeFranco. Is Ani DeFranco? Or is it Ani DeFranco? Or Annie DeFranco?
I say Ani DeFranco.
DeFranco.
God, yeah, she probably gets that a lot.
Anyway, yeah, so it was.
I've always said it was Ani DeFranco.
Ani DeFranco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does.
Soft day, hard day.
Kate, God, I love you. Why can't we just all be together on the screen like Muppets?
No.
Anyway. So how was the concert? You didn't like it. You didn't know the songs. I knew all the songs. You should call me.
You know what it is? It's just, I respect her talent, but she has that sort of speak singing thing. She's strumming the guitar, she's singing like this, and she's just talking about stuff that happened, and then she's just, she's being on Franco, and she's singing, and she's doing songs. It's just like, I just don't even know what she's singing. But I guess so, because she's on stage with the guitar. I only had the nerve to do that because you can't see me.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, I don't know if it was this. I mean, I have no audience. I'm looking into the void. I can't hear if you're laughing. I don't know if that fell flat to me. Hannah's impression of Ani DeFranco is now my favorite impression. Hannah?
I thought it was funny.
She's a griot, okay? She's a traveler. She's a folk singer. She's a storyteller. Anyway.
She's a smelly cat singer. True that, Ani B.
One of my favorite Ani DeFranco lyrics. Look, I shared some Dorothy Parker earlier. That's right, that happened. Here's one of my favorite Ani DeFranco lyrics. It's from a song called Fire Door. What if I was just like, I'm gonna sing it. I open the fire door. I mean, that would be terrible, right? Like, I have some sense of like what not to do. I do, So here's the lyric, though. It's very good. It's from a song called Fire Door. I opened the fire door to 4 lips, none of which were mine, kissing. Tighten my belt around my hips where your hands were missing. It's good. It's very good. She opened the fire escape door and her person was making out with somebody else. I opened the fire door to 4 lips, none of which were mine, kissing. What? It's beautiful. It's great. And then tighten my belt around my hips where your hands were missing. It's fantastic. She's great. She's a great writer. Anyway.
Yeah, good lyricist. Not gonna lie. That's the truth.
Yeah. Carrie Dell just said Alice Cooper will never die. I love it. What's that?
Alice Cooper is a national treasure.
He's a national treasure. By the way, thank you, Stephanie Cake. Tonight is pure gold. It's a very interesting. Okay, good. Wonky Quilter's laughing, but Kathy has restarted the stream and it keeps freezing. Grits and Butter, God bless you. Hey, Grits and Butter, I was just talking about you the other day. I like you. Carrie Dell likes you. We all like you. Anyway, the video is glitchy for Stephanie Cake, but the audio is okay. I was letting us down. Okay, it could be the internet here at the Iowa Quilt Museum, although, it's the only option. Because at the house, there's no internet at the house. I mean, there is, but it's terrible. I tried to stream one time, the last time I was here in February, and I couldn't do it. So, it is what it is. Sad to say. But thank you for hanging in. I know a lot of people ducked out. Tech problems, it is kind of like a record scratch at a party when the DJ like bumps the record and it's like, and everybody's like, oh, they're like this. You can't blame them. Anyway, so Hannah, thank you for that impression. It was amazing. Mother Nature's good. Okay.
I'll work on it. I'll hone it for next time and we'll do a whole thing.
Please do. I'll
write an Ani DeFranco song about quilts and then deliver it as her.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Hannah, my sister, says The next time we will stream. Look at this.
Let the record show.
Let the record show. Hannah will write a song in the Ani DeFranco style about quilts and perform it. I think you said deliver. No, perform it on the next show.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the thing that would make sort of this be like a total concept for this show would just be like a picture of a cartoon turkey on the show, like on the screen, you know, like that would be good. It would be like, this is the Thanksgiving show, like, and now it will be a tradition. Now it will be like, oh yeah, the week of Thanksgiving, it's a crack up show. It's like the turkey crack up. It's like a thing now.
It's like you're trying to do Thanksgiving meal, and it's got 12 different moving parts, and nothing's gonna be ready at the same time. And then somebody forgot to bring the relish.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But Grandpa's lumbago is acting up. Just it'd be like that.
Or did the somebody forget to bring the relish, or is it some passive aggressive bullshit that they pull every year? Like that kind of thing, right? Okay.
Aunt Kathy. Aunt Kathy's always a pistol.
Aunt Kathy.
Not make a point.
So, Hani, hi. Can we talk about Mr. Rogers going, yes! Oh my God. Okay. Oh, thank you, Dee Marie. Okay, so Hani the other day dropped by the co-working stream, which is super fun. I forgot to take it off the schedule for Monday. Anyway, there's not going to be a co-working stream tomorrow because I'm here in Iowa and I don't think it's really working that well. So there won't be co-working this week. But next week, Hannah, I don't know if I even told you, we do this co-working stream. I turn the camera on in the office and we hang out together. It's the best. I get a lot of work done. It's so awesome. Anyway, so
I've seen it.
It's so much fun. You've seen it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, great.
But
Well, let me tell you, if you drop by and co-work with us, people will lose their minds. So just... When mom's just like, hi, like I'm tuning in while I'm putting up, decorations for Christmas, everyone's like, yay! I mean, it's including me. So pop by sometime, man. It's like the best. People would love that. Yeah, they would love it.
Well, yeah, and I work from home anyway, so that's so easy.
Carrie Doe's super into it. I mean, it's very chill. And what's interesting, Hannah, is that I thought I'd be like performing work when I started doing that. Like I was like, it's not going to work because I'll be too preoccupied and self-conscious in the most essential way, of that term, self-conscious. Like, how can I? Not at all. It's nice to have company. It's crazy. It's like the coolest thing, man. I love it so much. Anyway, you should totally come by because people enjoy you. So Hani dropped by the other day and she talked about how she was going to bid on some quilts that were being auctioned from Fred Rogers' estate. Now, I have not known. Oh, this is good. So Hani, now let me think here. You email. So just tell in the chat what happened because you sent me a picture, and I'm gonna go in and try to get that picture from the email while you tell us about it. So people are gonna watch the chat and they're gonna see what you have to say about it. If you could say, just tell the thing, and if you won the quilts and you don't have to say how much you paid if you did win them. Anyway, please tell the people, okay? While I try to see if I can find that picture.
And of course. Here, okay. So while we're stuff, let me say something.
Yeah, I love it.
So, painting this on during my lunch hours and like after work this week.
Yep.
100% huge fan of Bob Ross.
Oh yeah.
Not his paintings per se, because those are of questionable. I'm not questionable. They're of a very particular type, and they serve a very particular aesthetic taste, which is not mine. But I think Bob Ross as a person is an absolute delight.
Oh,
absolute
nice.
Delight. And I was just thinking as I was listening to him talk about how you're gonna put a happy little tree on the canvas and a little happy little stone because the little tree always needs a friend, just like we all need friends. And
yes.
he had rest his soul. He had a squirrel that he got as a baby and nursed it back to health. It had been abandoned, and he named it Pea. And he had his pet squirrel Peapod that would guest on the show every once in a while.
Oh, my God, really?
And I say all of this as to just say that there are a few people every once in a while that have come along in sort of just the general pop culture landscape that are so wholesome and so delightful.
Yeah.
That expected they might actually be like low-key bodhisattvas. Like I'm just saying. Bob Ross was Fred was most definitely one. Most definitely. And even in my most jaded, like crispy fried, icy New Yorker heart, like Fred Rogers, bless him.
Yeah.
And of course he's a quilt collector, because of course he was.
Well, okay, so here we go. So through the power of Sohani and Stephanie Cake just now, and we hate this technology, right? But also it's amazing. Sorry. Okay. So what's Hannah? Catch me up. What's Sohani? What's she saying? What's going on?
She says, she's spilling the tea. She's happy to. 5 quilts in 3 lots. She won 1 quilt for $8 plus tax.
Stop it. Hold on. But also, good job. Okay, continue.
Yeah, patchwork red background with the Pittsburgh Penguins logo. Backing is really interesting. She'll have to share a photo. It'll help us date. Robin's Nest agrees that Bob Ross was the best to watch. Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, Jordan. Yeah, correct. Carrie Dell. Yes. Leslie Jordan. Another good example.
Oh yeah. Totally. Okay. So this is the picture we had from Stephanie. It's from Sohani.
So she also scored the family's Belgian waffle maker and electric kettle.
Okay, that's amazing. Excuse me. Pause for a second.
Mr. Rogers waffle maker.
You're gonna have waffles with the
prana.
It's prana we're talking about at this point, right?
Prana waffle.
Prana waffle. The Fred Rogers prana waffle brunch. And you know what, Sohani? I'm just saying, I'm not doing a whole lot in 2020. No, in January. I could use a waffle. Let me know, girl. I'll stop by.
Yeah, totally.
Hannah and I can just, we'll just come by. Anyway.
I have a red velvet waffle recipe.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Dear God.
You know what? I'm like the soundboard.
Yes, and also an unmaker. Bob Ross was indeed a drill sergeant in the military, which is just
no.
Yep, that was his career prior to doing the show.
That's wild, really. Oh, that's weird. Are we looking at his boxer shorts? What's going on here?
Oh yeah.
Sohani, explain. So I love this penguin quilt. This is amazing. This was a screenshot that Sohani sent. Look at that, $8. Amazing. I love those little penguins, Sohani. Okay, Hannah, keep reading. I'm sorry, I've been goofing off.
Oh, let's see. Okay. So all told, she spent $15.
Amazing. Oh, it's a bed skirt. Okay. Amazing.
There's some controversy over whether this is in fact the Pittsburgh Penguins logo or is just a penguin print.
Ah, interesting. Wow.
I'm gonna have to. I believe it's.
It may be a call to the Pittsburgh Penguins because they are a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't like them.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Grits and Butter wants to know. So, honey, how did this auction come to your attention? I want to know the same thing. That seems like a.
Yeah, totally. How did you know of it?
I thought people have been all over that. Oh, it's Tux, the Linux mascot.
Oh my God, Kenny, you're ridiculous.
We're gonna have to do a deep dive on the provenance of this penguin.
Kenny, you're ridiculous. You're the best. Yeah, amazing. So, and it's tied, right? It's just perfect. Like, of course it's a Fred Rogers quilt. It's got an animal on it, and it's tied, and it looks like I want to, put it on my bed,
Yeah, it was on the local news. Wow.
It's beautiful. It was on the local news. Fascinating. I love it. So, honey, thank you so much for bringing that up. I really appreciate it. And, Stephanie Cake is, so valuable in so many ways. And, she watches the chat when I can't. So, if I hadn't seen it, Stephanie Cake would have seen it. So if people have stuff like that, if you've bet in an auction, or if you've not bet in an auction, if you've bid at an auction or something, and it's exciting like that, let us know in the chat during the show. I can't always put it in, but that's awesome to share that. That's so great.
That's cool, and it pleases me to know that somebody, wasn't. It's only things are just things, but it just always kind of concerns me. I feel a little bit forlorn if especially something like a quilt or I don't know, like I'm such a like softie about stuff like stuffed animals and like just like well-loved textile things. It's like I hate the idea of them just being sort of sent out into nowhere and not cared for. So it's dope that the quilt appreciator got, of all things, Fred Rogers' quilt.
Yeah.
Granted, that quilt may not be like the end-all be-all quilt, but the fact that it had Fred Rogers' DNA on it possibly, and somebody could have made it into a coat, that bothers me. So I'm very glad Sohani got it.
Yeah, exactly, right? We don't know who's got the chi on the quilt. Look at this little guy. Look at
Wonky
him.
quilter, a great quilt for sad days, like a hug for Mr. Rogers. Exactly. You can just see, and it's like you got Daniel Tiger right there.
Oh yeah, it is like Daniel Tiger. It's Kitty. It's
Henrietta.
It's kitten.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
like
Henrietta.
Yeah, Henrietta.
Yeah, Daniel's orange. Yeah. Come on now.
Stephanie's like
Gen
Henrietta.
Xers.
It was about 40 years ago.
It would be Henrietta, Daniel's orange. Look at this cutie. Okay, anyway. So yeah, that's good stuff, man. Great. But thank you for the update. That was great. A great quilt for sad days. A hug from Mr. Rogers. I love that. Okay, so I kind of gave it away here on this crack up show. I feel like the people who hung in there, who are hanging with us, I feel like you're getting rewarded. I'm having a good time. It was like the great. I mean, like the lowest lows to the highest heights. And by the way,
I'm just pretending I can see myself.
What's that?
I'm just pretending I can see myself. I'm watching on Zoom and pretending everybody else, but then also taking comfort that you can't see me. So if my forehead gets shiny, no one will know.
Yeah, when I put the popcorn up to my face, I get a little green, so I look like some sort of Disney villain. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And also, there's no delay or anything because you're just on the Zoom, right? So we're just talking like we're on a Zoom call.
Sadly, no. I'm watching you talk in front of your green screen and then keeping an eye on the Twitch screen behind the Zoom screen and then just hoping that you'll talk long enough for the picture to come up so I know what you're talking about. But that's okay.
You're doing an awesome job because I didn't know any of that.
You never know if I hadn't told you.
So this popcorn, by the way, is from the Iowa Theater down there because they're doing a private screening of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I'm like, y'all, I got a show. And they were like, come to some of it. I'm like, nothing's working tonight, so I can't come at all. But they were like, okay, do you want popcorn? And I was like, yes, I do. All right. So.
Fresh popped every night. Real butter.
It is. It's very good.
Hashtag Iowa Theater.
I kind of gave this away. Well, I did because it's a crack up. But this quilt, okay, maybe you don't remember because a lot of things have happened since we first spoke. This quilt.
You mean ever? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This piece is hanging in the National Quilt Museum in Paducah, Kentucky. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to show you a few other quilts. Here's another image, another view of this quilt. And if you know what we're looking at, people in the chat, you just zip it. Don't give it away. Don't read ahead. We're looking at this quilt and we're going to look at a few other quilts made by this person. A few other pieces made by this person. And nobody jump ahead. Meow, meow, happy, meow, meow. Oh my God, Dee Dee Brooker just said meow, meow. Meow, meow, happy, meow, meow. Sorry. Wow. Okay, that just took me back. Okay, let's look at this one. Look at this piece. This is by the same maker. Very cool. Very interesting. I like the colors very much. We have like a koi pond happening. Meow, meow, koi pond, meow, meow. Sorry. God. And yeah, I mean, it's
okay. Same maker?
Same maker. Same maker. This is also the same maker. Okay. And I'm about to blow your mind. Okay.
All right.
Can I blow your mind?
I'm ready.
These quilts are made of wood.
Oh.
They are made of wood.
Well, I'll be damned.
This is wood. Yeah. It's wood. This is wood. This is wood. Fraser Smith makes these quilts and makes these pieces, and they are wood. They are not fabric. And we're gonna watch a 5-minute video about this dude because, frankly, I want answers. Amazing,
Yeah.
Amazing, right?
Well,
Amazing.
among them, why?
Among them, why? Oh my God, Hannah. I mean, it's because it's art, man. It's like he's totally.
No, I know. And I'm not saying that's not an accusatory why. It's
Yeah,
just like
sure.
like, what's up with that?
Totally. So
Yeah, there's an artist that does the same thing with pillows, like pillows and bedding. I wonder if it's the same person.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to look while you talk.
Yeah,
because,
Fraser Smith.
Yeah,
F-R-A-S.
this is mind blowing.
It's mind blowing, right? You know what? It's
Jeez, oh my gosh, yeah, the white one. Holy cow!
I know. So here he is. Look at this. So he's a poet. He's a gentleman and a scholar. He's a poet. He's a lover, not a fighter. Anyway, I don't know. But this is so. The first time I saw this thing, I have to tell you, I saw this hanging in the National Quilt Museum in Paducah. It's like by the sort of information booth or whatever. It's called Floating, a wooden quilt by Fraser Smith. I had the same reaction that everyone who sees it probably has, when they see it for the first time. I mean, I was just like, I was almost angry. I was like, no, wait a minute, just wait just a second now. I was like, what?
Hold on
Like,
a gosh darn minute.
it's like, meow, meow, confused meow, meow.
Meow,
Like,
meow, WTF meow.
yeah, WTF, meow, meow. WTF, yeah, you did it better than me anyway, but I have the puppet you don't have. So it is really, really amazing. So he's a woodworker who makes these quilts. So I found a video about him, or from him, and who made it? Hannah, you're gonna know this person. Nancy Zeman. You remember Nancy Zeman who did PBS?
Oh.
You're gonna recognize her right away.
Yeah, totally.
She passed away, a few years ago.
Yeah.
But we're gonna watch her talk to Fraser Smith, who makes these wooden quilts, okay?
Wow, okay, yeah. I'm into it.
Okay, here we go. Stephanie Cake, did it work out to tell people how they can get rid of the snow if they don't like the snow?
Oh yeah, I did not tell anybody, but if you are on a computer, I don't know how to do this on your phone, but on a computer, if you hover your mouse over on the right-hand side of the video screen, there should be a little thing that says snowflakes. It's like a little box.
Oh, finally.
And you just have to click that, and then it gives you the option to make it invisible. Not visible.
Invisible. You can make it invisible. That's what we want to do. I tried. We tried. I thought it would be festive. I thought it would do it like once an hour, just a little snow shower. Once an hour, a snow shower. But I did not have the power to take it off the bower. Okay.
You have no power over your snow shower, and it's an extension. We'll get rid of it after this. We'll get rid of it after the stream. I now know where it is.
Okay. Oh, good. Meow, meow, extension, meow, meow. Okay. Here, let's watch this. 5 minute and 34 second video about this woodworker. Okay, let's check it out.
Roll tape.
Roll tape. Roll tide.
What to quilting and wood carving?
Okay, that's really low. Hang on. I might have to do a thing where I hold the microphone directly against the computer. So Hannah, just know that if you speak, it'll probably like blare everybody's eardrums. So I'll pause if we want to talk. So just wave at me, okay? If you want to talk. Was that clear? No? Okay. Okay, here we go.
Carving have in common? The answer, Fraser Smith. Fraser is a master wood carver who creates unbelievable quilts out of blocks of glued wood. He joins us today via Skype from St. Pete's Beach, Florida. Welcome to Sewing with Nancy, Fraser.
Hi, Nancy. Thanks for having me on.
Hold on. I think there's another version of this on YouTube. Just a second. I think there's a better quality. This is not the one I found. Hold on. Just hang on. Just hold on. I swear
I have to say, getting that little peek at Fraser Smith's the ceiling in his workspace is terrifying. It looks like he's got a little bit of suspended ceiling that is not in good repair.
Does he really? Oh yeah, I found it. Oh wait, hold on. I think I found it. Fraser, you know what? Oh yeah, I totally found it. This is so much better. I mean, he's a cipher, Stephanie. He's an artist. He's deep. He contains multitudes. It's hard to understand an artist.
He can't be constrained by OSHA.
By OSHA. Meow, meow, OSHA, meow, meow. Okay, all right, let's go up here. See, look, I got it from the source, from PBS itself. I was like,
Meow, meow, building code violation, meow.
What did you say?
I said meow, meow, building code violation, meow.
Oh my God. I love doing Henrietta. Okay, let's get this is way better, you guys. I knew a few things about this show. Most of them I didn't know. Okay, here we go.
Join me for PBS Wisconsin's Why Race Matters. I talk with community members whose work and lives center on race relations, digging into issues that affect Wisconsin's Black communities. Click here to watch the entire series on demand.
Hello, PBS.
What do quilting and wood carving have in common? The answer, Fraser Smith. Fraser is a master wood carver who creates unbelievable quilts out of blocks of glued wood. He joins us today via Skype from St. Pete's Beach, Florida. Welcome to Sewing with Nancy Fraser.
Hi, Nancy.
Myra, you're in a timeout.
Thanks for having me on.
This is quite exciting. When I saw images of your quilt, which of a quilt sculpture that you did, or wood carving, not sculpture, wood carving that you did, which our viewers can see right now, I thought, that's wood. And I'm just so impressed with this. Could you give us a little summary of how you started working in this medium?
Yeah, well, basically I started as a kid, and my father ran a sawmill, and we always had wood around.
Sure.
And he also had some carving tools, and he liked to carve a little bit, and he got me carving. And then I went to college and was taking sculpture classes. I was thinking about being an architect, but took some sculpture classes, ended up working a lot with wood, and basically decided after school that I didn't want to be an architect and started just carving. And the subject matter I use is it really started out with sort of things that we have that
Sure.
we hold, keep in the back of the closet, like an old jacket or.
Y'all, that's wood. Those are wooden things. He's made them from wood.
Get out.
No, it's true. I mean, that's his work. It's the thing. He made it out of wood.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. Leather. It's not even leather. Okay.
It's not even leather.
Yeah.
Something that we'd wear that we have memories that we're connected with. And so that was the idea in the beginning. And so I did coats and hats and sort of things that we'd save. And then in about 1987 or 88, I was sort of sitting around thinking, well, what could I do that it sort of has that same feel, but has a lot more chance for artistic expression and things like that.
Sure.
And I thought, well, why not a quilt? Because a quilt is the sort of thing that we hang on to, and
Amazing.
No matter how threadbare it gets, we'll still fold it up and stick it away somewhere and keep it because we've used it.
And you use basswood to create your wood sculptures?
Yes, it's
Question: do we have woodworker people watching? I mean, I feel like Kenny is a jack of all trades, but there may be. Well, there's plenty of Jacks and Jills of all trades. But I just wonder if your partner is a woodworker, or if you've ever done it. I mean, basswood. I don't know anything about this stuff, but
My husband does a little bit
Your husband
of
does
woody stuff.
Woody
yeah,
thing?
basswood's a fairly soft wood.
a softwood. Okay, interesting. That makes sense.
It's softer than pine. Yeah. You know those, I don't know, does anybody remember those little, I think they still sell them at Michael's, the little kits where you make the little race car, little rocket, you carve a thing. I think it's like a Boy Scout craft or
Oh,
something.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's basswood. It's very soft. But still, I mean, just because it's not hardwood doesn't mean,
Yeah.
I feel like there's so
listen,
much,
we had
so
to do
much in
those. We
there.
did those in like, I think,
I got you.
we did little like matchbox, or not matchbox. What the hell? Those little.
Little go-kart kind of thing, little.
Yeah, we did
Right.
those in like 7th or 8th grade science.
Yeah. It's either
It's a
science
huge
classes
pain.
or like scouting does it. Yeah.
That's
Total
right.
pain. Like it's not easy to work with. Wood is just wood is wood.
Meow meow wood meow meow. Okay, let's continue.
It's sort of medium hard, medium soft. It's not. It's same stuff they use to make like popsicle sticks and stuff like that. But so it carves easily, but it's also sort of homogenized. It doesn't really look a lot like wood once you've carved it and stained it and stuff like that. You got to get close.
It doesn't look like wood when you've carved it and stained it, Fraser. I mean, I could take a piece of that and be like, it's so soft and I can make something out of it. I mean, it it would just look so terrible. So, I mean, anyway, listen, we're goofing off and I'm being flipped. This man's amazing. We're having a good time tonight. I mean, I don't mean to, I'll send the link in the chat. So if you want to watch it like a serious person, you can do that. Everything went off the rails. And personally, I'm having a good time.
Close to see the grain.
And what we can't really appreciate it is that your pieces are large. You start off with a large piece of wood, and they're heavy.
Yeah, I started off with, you can't find a block of wood that's either 5 feet wide or 3.5 feet high. Basically, I take blocks that are 4 inches thick and cut them to the length or width that I want, and then glue them up. A usual piece will have 4 blocks, 5 blocks, 4-inch basswood, and it'll start out around 170, 180 pounds.
And then
Wow.
you go through the sculpturing process. Walk us through that, please.
And by the way, I just want to say the woman on your screen, probably anybody who's a quilt person knows. Well, I shouldn't assume. If you're not aware of who this person is Nancy Zeman. Nancy Zeman passed away, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago now, probably. Hey, Drink Wine and Solin. She's amazing. Hey, Mama. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, exactly. What meanwhiles? Yeah. But Nancy Zeman she's a legend in the quilt world, a pioneer in the television area, sort of television realm of the quilt industry that really was born and built by people like Nancy Zeman through the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I met her once. She was like, I mean, truly. Hannah, I met her at a Baby Lock event thing for the people who were doing sponsor Baby Lock stuff. And you know what? I'll tell you. I went up to her and this was just, I mean, it would have been just a year or so before she passed away. And I was like, Nancy Zeman, I don't know anything. I mean, I really don't know anything. Like the things I think I know, I don't even know those. I wasn't like this, but I was basically I was very deferential and I was very hello, respectful. But I was like, do you have any advice for me, or anybody who's my age, trying to do something at all, anything? And you know what she said? I was like, anything, I don't know, what should I have for lunch? I don't know. And she was like, get a mentor. She's like, good advice, right? Amazing. She was like, get a mentor, or mentors, but get somebody that you trust, get somebody that you dig, and basically bother them to teach you what they know, or just keep asking them questions and ask them if you can, ask them if you can study them, watch them. But it was whatever that would mean to a person, but it was such great advice. I was like, damn, that's good, find somebody who knows more than you do. And
who's doing what you want to do and
Precisely.
and learn how they did it.
That's right.
Yeah.
She was amazing, and she wrote a memoir, and I mean, just the stuff she put up with. She had various health problems, and she was not stopped. She was like, hi, this is who I am. Hello, I would like to do things. I'm going to do them now. Right?
Well,
and she did.
I've got a couple of tools here. This is what I start with. It's just an angle grinder with a blade with 3 teeth on it, and it really removes a lot of wood fast. That's what I use to get the shape. So you've got the folds and the waves that of the quilt hanging. I show them hanging from a rope because I like the idea of it sort of being a casual thing.
Sure.
And people walk into the room and think, well, why is this quilt here, first off? And then also, why is it hanging over a rope?
Sure.
Well, there's that effect, but also it gives more of a 3-dimensional quality to the whole thing.
Right.
So I'll use that tool to get that shape of the folds. Then I take out this tool, which is a similar tool, but it's just sandpaper, and it smooths it down. At that point, I start drawing in the pattern, and I design it.
Pause. Okay, so that, I can't zoom in on when we're watching YouTube, but this, well, we're gonna probably see it, okay, but I have a close-up picture of this particular quilt as it colored, all filled in. So we'll look at it, but yeah.
On the computer, and I'll get the computer to print out the templates life size, just like a real quilter might do.
Yeah, interesting.
And then I'll simply draw that pattern on the piece, and then I start carving with tools like these. They're rotary shaft grinding tools. And that's what I use to make all the stitches, the puckers, the details, the surface detail that you'd find on a real quilt. And then there's a whole lot of this, just sandpaper.
The sandpaper.
And
sure.
you just sand and sand and sand and sand. And that's what really makes it look like cloth.
They're
rather than
so
like
they're
carpet.
so amazing. The folds, the dimension, the texture. I'm blown away by your works of art, Fraser.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for sharing this with us. And we'll look forward to seeing more of your artwork as you finish it and your process as you go along. As we follow you on social media. Thank you for joining us and sharing this great idea.
Well, thanks, Nancy, for having me.
Oh, sorry.
You're welcome. And thank you for watching at home. Watch this program again or any other Sewing with Nancy program at nancyzeman.com, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
She's so great. Yeah, I mean, so cool, right? So cool. So let me show you that picture of this one. So if you just joined us, that's wood. Okay, that's wood. If you've just joined us, that's wood. Welcome to Quilt Nerd. If you've just joined us, that's wood. Yeah, that's wood. It's not fabric, it's wood. And Fraser Smith is the guy. So yeah, very interesting, right? Very cool. And the quilt that he was working on here, this is a close-up of the piece, at least the coloration of the piece. And I mean, and so that's like the question we ask sometimes, right, Hannah? Like, when is a quilt not a quilt? Like, is a quilt art or craft, whatever? We've talked about that a lot. We will always talk about that on this show. Is a quilt art or craft? And Hannah, my answer to this is I'm art, craft, non-binary. That's my answer, because the art craft division is.
I see what you did there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, two things can be true at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be an art and a craft, and crafts and an art. Like, they need not be. I don't understand what everybody's. Well, the people who get so pressed about making a distinction. It's like
the hierarchy is total
like,
garbage.
relax, dude. It's not that serious.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't have been. It was a division to keep rich people rich and poor people poor, and it's about power and gender and race relations. It's stupid. It's a 200-year-old idea. This idea of fine art. It used to all be the same thing. Anyway, that's my little soapbox. I'll put it aside for now. Hannah, here's what I think we're gonna do. Now we've got a whole bunch of content cooked up for South African quilts. Okay,
we can sure as heck fast forward past this quilt because I don't like it.
Well, well, that's good. That's good to know. So here's what we're gonna do, because tonight has been pretty crazy. Sherlock Sews requested that we talk about quilts from South Africa and South African quilting traditions. Sherlock Sews asked for that through the content director thing. She spent her thimbles. She watches the show. She's a dedicated viewer. She spent her thimbles to be a content director and tell us what she'd like to see. I don't see her here tonight. So what that means to me is that what that makes me want to do is hold the South African content. There's a lot of it, and it's crazy. It's already 8:45, for heaven's sakes. It's a Tuesday night. What the hell,
I think that's just dandy, because honestly, I felt like that my South African quilt recon was left something to be desired.
You know what?
To dig deep in. But,
no, I'm kidding. No, actually,
I did weeks of research. I'm so mad. We should. I mean, honestly, they can't show up for all of this work that we did.
Let the record state that I did give you your assignment in plenty of time. only because I feel like
I have a group of South African quilters in my living room waiting. I don't even know where I'm going to put them.
You tell those ladies they're just going to have to come back. This is a very professional operation. We can't make time. No, here's the thing. I say that only because sometimes when things get so kind of crazy around here, I'm just like, do they think that I don't ever do anything when I'm not on air? Like, do I just come in? I'm like, oh, I don't have that ready. I don't have this ready. Like, no, like, ooh. But anyway, but here's, it's really true. This has been actually a gift, tonight's show, because I just sort of like remembered to have fun. And I asked Stephanie before, I was like, we're supposed to have fun, right? And she was like, it's supposed to be fun. And I was like, ugh. And so anyway, so I'm having fun, and it's good. And the South African content is great. I have a ton of pictures. I didn't even show you those because you were going to read and I was going to show pictures. You gave me wonderful pictures, and you watched the Marsha McDowell video and stuff. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to hold that content. I want Sherlock to be able to see it live. I can give her a heads up and let her know when that's going to happen. Hannah and I can confab and do even more than we have, which is a lot. You should see my folder. But let's finish out the show with some more fun and just take the pressure off a little bit, have a good time, and play this game. We're going to play a game. And the game is, does Hannah like it? No, it's name that date. Or can you
Date that quilt.
name that quilt date? Name that date? I don't know what it's called.
Date that quilt.
Date that, thank you. Date that quilt.
Date that quilt.
The way you said it, Hannah, just now, because I started playing the sound effect and it sounded like, ain't that a quilt? Ain't that a quilt? Well, you know what I mean? Ain't that a quilt? You did a nice job. Bless your heart. Okay. So Hannah and viewers at home, this is a good time. See, you know what? Drink wine and Solin, you've got it right. We have the most fun when crazy happens. And that's what I'm saying. The people who stuck around, the people who were like, you know what? I know every once in a while I have to refresh my screen or I can't say anything, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to keep refreshing because I think something special is going to happen. And for you people, something special has happened. And it's this. Hannah, I love you so much. I wish you were here for Thanksgiving. I really do. Oh God. No, Zoom. No, Zoom, don't do that. No, Zoom, don't you do that. No. Hannah, you froze. Why'd you freeze? Stephanie?
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
But Hannah.
Okay, yeah, I think Hannah's frozen.
Okay. Hannah, you should dial back in. So everybody at home, you can play too. Streaming upstream. Oh, I love it. I'm writing that down. We're streaming upstream tonight, guys. Streaming upstream. Ooh, that's good. Druid Godmother. Well done. Okay. So, Hannah, you need to call back in. You're gone. You're off the Zoom. So this game is very simple. I have about 10 quilts. 10 quilts. We're going to take it home, man. We're going to take it home with 10 quilts. And the question is, can you date that quilt? When was this quilt made? Now, you can say 20th century, but that's a little bit broad. Is there a prize? Is there a prize if you guess right? No, there's no prize. There's no prize. Adoration, a sound effect. You know, you'll get the sound effect about the Post-its. You will just get the respect of your peers in the chat. But you already have it, so don't worry about it. Just have a good time. Hannah, can you see this? Nan.
Hannah is reconnecting.
Okay, good. Reconnect. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh. Internet is bad in New York City.
Oh, Lord. Okay, look. Hannah. Oh, my internet died. Really? Well, what are you? Do you have cell phone service? What are you? Have you fallen on hard times? Use your phone. Don't use the Wi-Fi. Hannah. Okay, I just want to say, I'm going to put it in the chat so I don't say it, so I don't say an oath. But one of Hannah's favorite oaths is this, and she just texted it to us, okay? She texted, no, I can't do that. I'm not doing it. Some people will be upset. She used the Lord's name in vain in a very funny way. That's all I'm going to say. So
She must have texted you something different than what she texted me.
Well, okay, I'll tell you later. It's somehow it does seem a little bit inappropriate too. It's really funny, but it uses the word, JC, but anyway. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Hannah, if you can only be in the chat, your power with words, you're so good at words and writing, you'll be funny, and I want to know what you have to say in the chat. I also feel like you need to connect not through your Wi-Fi, but through your cellular service. And what's really difficult is what if you only have like a Wi-Fi connection because you've fallen on hard times and you're keeping it from your family because you're just too ashamed. And really, you just have a green screen that looks like your apartment, but really you're using a cyber cafe somewhere in 180th and Amsterdam or something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
That wasn't Lou. That was a street dog.
that was exactly, that was a street dog. Lou's out doing whatever he has to do to make ends meet. Hannah, oh Hannah, oh God, what happened to our family? All right, So everybody, let's do this. Let's do this. It's the pressure. It's the pressure. I love you people so much. What do you think? This game is this easy. When was this quilt made? That's the game. That's the game. When was this quilt made? What would you say? She buckled. Can't. Oh, where do I have wine? What do you think? Let me zoom in on this quilt, okay? So you can guess, like, you know, a range, you know, I don't know, you know, like a range like to 2020 to 2022, you know, 1900 to 1920, like, you know, a 20-year range is like super legit, you know, because a lot of quilt dating people can't do better than that, right? Oh, interesting. I love this game. Oh my God, it's so great. Wonky says 1981. Padma says if Lou puts on a suit, he can get more dog biscuits. Oh, that is adorable. God, please put Lou in a suit, Hannah. Stephanie says 1925. Fascinating. God, I love this game so much. We should play this every time. 1980s, says Penny. Hi, Penny. 1870. Kathy's going way earlier. 1870. Drink wine. And so Lynn says, who has the wine? Heavy pour. Working on it. Yes, would love to. 1934, My Great Cats. Beverly's Butter. Hi, Beverly. God bless you for being here, Beverly. 1950s, we have got a wide spread. 1900 to 1910, says Robin. 1970, interesting. God, this is the best. Saucy Citrus says Hunter Green and Cranberry were hot colors in the 90s. Ooh, girl. It's okay, says 1910. She's like, I'm going turn of the century, people. I'm leaving you behind. Mother Nature, 1995 to 2005. And Kenny says that print in the middle with the flowers reminds me of chintz. Okay. I think the reason I love this game is because everyone who has a guess has the best reasons for it. Like it's like, yeah, of course, it makes total sense that you would guess, you know, 1970, Lynn, or, you know, or 1900 and 1910, because you have this medallion quilt. Like, it all makes sense. Well, I am about to tell you, some of you were pretty darn close. This quilt is from 1984. It's from 1984. Hang on now. Let me get up in here. Oh, hey, it's Stephanie Cake. Hey, Stephanie Cake. There you are on the screen. Sorry. So this is a quilt from 1984. And it is from the book Hands All Around, which is a really great book. And we have it's so good. It's so good. And it's one that I thought my mom gave to me when I was here the last time, because we actually looked at a quilt from this book before. How Orwellian, exactly. But I didn't take it home with me, and I was so glad because I thought I had lost it. Here it is again, and I love the quilts in this book. It's Quilts from Many Nations, Robert Bishop, Carrie Bressenhan, and Bonnie Lehman, who we love, right? Whoops. And it's from a whole thing. We'll talk about the book later, but this is Les Champs de Bleu à Cachemire by Soisik Labens from Paris, France, 1980. 1980. Very yuppie indeed. The colors are so 1984, right? Cotton fabrics, hand and machine pieced, hand quilted. Where is my sister? You know what? Maybe she was like, the internet died, and she's like on a hot date.
Anna's here.
She is? Is she on the Zoom?
Yeah.
Hannah, I don't see you. I have, participants 3. Participants 3. Oh, I don't have you. I don't have your video or anything, Hannah.
She's muted.
Well, unmute. Why don't you just unmute? What is this? What do you think this is? What kind of gin joint you're running here? Oh yeah. Thanks. Okay, because I want your thoughts. So hand and machine pieced, hand quilted. Wheatfields in Cashmere, oh yes, was created as a commissioned piece for a museum to be used as the counterpoint for a planned exhibit of 19th century antique paisleys. This was anybody who was talking about, pre-19th century, 1870s, whoever was saying that, you have exquisite reasons for saying so. Since the museum specified the piece was to be made of modern fabrics, the quilt maker selected a fabric from Provence, in the south of France, for the center, and combined this with green chintz and contemporary paisleys for the rest of the quilt. Quote, "This quilt certainly reflects something of my country. says the quilt maker. Indeed, this is quite French, unquote. Unquote. The heavily patterned fabrics add richness and depth to the piece. The larger corner triangles of paisley balance the delicate design of the center fabric, which has been heavily quilted for contrasting texture. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Yes, Hannah, please continue. Yes, go on. Well, nice to have you back.
Hey, listen, I'm zooming and twitching on my phone at this moment, so I can.
That's bad. That's terrible.
And I saw that quilt. Yeah, it looks better in the quarters, literally the window that's the size of a quarter on my phone right now, because that quilt ugly as homegrown sin.
Ugly as homegrown sin. Clip that. Clip it. Put it on TikTok. Ugly as homegrown sin. Well,
I said it.
Yeah, you did say it. I hope Soyza Glabins isn't watching. You know what? She's not. It's totally fine.
You know what? He can fight me.
I can what?
You tell him that he can fight me.
Soyzik is a man. You know your French names? Let's move on.
I don't know. Whoever they are, they can fight me. I will fight them over this ugly quilt. It's hideous.
Well, let's give you one you're gonna like, Hannah. How about this? How about I picked this expressly for you?
Merci.
Yes. You know, this quilt has been on Quilt Nerd before. In fact, one of my favorite episodes of the show ever was the show where we looked at Mary Fogg, F-O-G-G, Mary Fogg. And I wanted to pull this quilt for the show because, Hannah, I thought, maybe incorrectly, because you're so spicy tonight, that you would like this quilt. Can you see it on your janky burner phone that apparently you're using?
Give it another 5 minutes and I'm sure it'll cut the video.
I was trying to delay up.
Yes. Okay, yes, I see it. Well, that's dope. Yeah, I like that one. I mean, it's creepy, but I like it.
It's creepy and dope. That's what it is. Yes, what do you like about it?
Let me see if I can open up this video a little bit bigger. This is the most suboptimal. This is like, yeah, this is fantastic.
You sound like you're in a grime tunnel. Like, did you go outside and like get into some sort of subway? Like, you even sound different. You sound.
Wait, let me just try and hook up my. If I hook up my buds, maybe everything will just explode. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, you're gonna try to hook something else up? That'll work.
Hey,
ask me how that worked today. Sorry.
Is that better audio?
It is actually.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So I'm on my earbuds. All right. So why do I like this quilt?
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think it's visually, it's clean. It's arresting. It has sort of an interesting social commentary going on, which I always think it's interesting when quilts try and tackle that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, to me, this is giving me like 80s, 90s, sort of, Bret Easton Ellis, yeah. Capitalist critique, Reaganomics.
Ooh, girl, I love you so much. Indeed. It was made in 1993 by Mary Fogg, and it is called The City. And the quilt nerd people, like, we don't always love every. Thank goodness we're not all in lockstep, right? Like these suits in the city, okay? Like, we're not all in lockstep on the things. We have people who like all kinds of different quilts and have different tastes, thank goodness. However, there are some quilts that, like, I don't know, we seem to sort of rally around. I mean, they're just great quilts, but I just remember, like, everybody who was watching the show last year, early this year, I forget. I know I was in Chicago. Everybody was just like, oh my God, that's so great. Like, it's so great. It's so smart, and it's so well done, and it's so evocative. And I mean, it's like the rain. I mean, people who, should we talk about what it's doing? Does that like ruin the magic? But it's like, it's the rain, it's men, it's Wall Street, it's New York, it's capitalism, it's marching to the thing that you don't want to do, but it's also really beautiful, but it's also
and they're headless.
They're headless. And the rain is pouring down hard. It's pouring down so hard that there are streaks in your visual field. It's pouring, and they're out there. I mean, it's just wonderful. And we looked at Mary Fogg, like a lot of her stuff, and Mary Fogg passed away some years ago, and I sent. I think God, did somebody else send something? Anyway, somehow I got in touch with her daughter, or somebody sent her a link. I don't know, but her daughter emailed me and said that she saw this segment on this show about her mom's work, and she was flattered and touched and just thought it was wonderful. I mean,
Oh wow, well, that's
dude,
cool.
like, I don't know, what else is there? That's the coolest thing in the world, man. So, okay, so you like that, and oh yeah, and you totally got it. What year was it made? I forgot kind of to ask that question.
93-ish.
You
I
said-
was
you
I was
said
saying
93?
late 80s, early 90s.
Yep, you said late 80s.
I didn't say 93.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. You said late 80s, early 90s, and you were spot on. Okay, let's do another one. Oh, this is great. How about this little number?
Keep talking and
Oh
eventually.
yeah, keep talking. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
can't see it
Hannah,
yet. Can't see it.
we're
It's
doing.
coming.
You're doing so good. We're taking this home.
Thank you.
It's great. So the
We're gonna land the plane.
Yeah, we're gonna land the plane. It's so hilarious. The year that it was made is literally quilted into this quilt over and over and over again. So that's maybe not the best one to pick for this game.
Oh wow. Okay, hold on.
Could it be
See.
1939? Was that when it was made? God. Jeez.
Well, wait a second. If it's this says World Fair.
Yes, it does. It does say that.
Well, so it would have had to been in the 30s at some point, because that's I think the last time we had one of those.
Is that right? Is that, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Is that true? Wasn't the St. Louis World's Fair later? That's interesting. I don't know about that.
I may be full of beans. I don't know.
Full of beans. World of Tomorrow. Yep, Mother Nature. Lest you forget. Yeah, so 1930. Thank you, Kathy. So this was a quilt made for, yes, it was the New York, actually. The New York World's Fair in 1939. It was made by Pearl Willard Roberts. 94 by 78. And yeah, World of Tomorrow was the theme of the New York World's Fair.
Wow.
What's
Yeah,
totally weird is that the Columbian exhibition in Chicago was 1932 to 1933 to 1934. So I've never understood any of this. I don't understand.
Well, and do we still do World's Fairs? I feel like we would have heard of them.
This is a very good question. Okay, see, Kay went to the World's Fair in Seattle in around 1963. So interesting. Yeah, I don't even know what's up with the World's Fair thing, but like Seattle in 1963 with Kay at the World's Fair, like, can I please be in a little time machine and go party with Kay at the World's Fair in Seattle? I'm just saying.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, it's gonna be a good time. Okay.
Padma has intel. She says Alexa says the last World's Fair in the U.S. was in New Orleans in 1984.
Really? Okay, so let me riddle me this. What about the most recent World's Fair?
That was it. It was the. Oh, you mean the most recent one?
The most recent one
In the
anywhere.
world.
Where was it? Was it in
Let's
Dubai in 2018? If so,
It was.
Kay and I may have been there, and we're never telling.
It was.
No, it was in Dubai.
It really was in Dubai.
In 2018? No.
I kid you. No. It was in the most recent World Expo took place in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates between the 1st of October of 2021 and the 31st of March 2022. The next one is going to be in Osaka.
We're going to
April.
Osaka.
It's in 2025.
Okay, that's amazing to know. Quilts take us everywhere. We know this. That's why we do this show. That's why we look at quilts. I always say it. I'll continue to say it because you think you're looking at quilts and you think you're like appreciating quilts and looking at no. You're making plans to go to Osaka in 2025. Okay, yeah, and you're learning about the World's Fair. Like, what even is the World Fair? This quilt was made in 1939. The New York World's Fair, the World's Fair that was in New York, weirdly, because the Columbian exhibition was like 4 years before. You know, Hannah, you New York people, you just have to keep, asserting that, you're like, whatever, that we're the second city, the Chicago people are the second city. So maybe you were trying to like do something. Anyway, the point is, we learn about, the World's Fair and, when is it going to be? And like, if we had more time and I wasn't so deeply bone weary from the stress of making this show, we would just go on a little tangent and start looking at the history of the World's Fair. Anyway, we just learned tonight as a group that Osaka is the location of the next World's Fair in 2025. And I happen to know that and another thing, and the quilts in Japan, the quilt history of Japan is fascinating. And we should just all meet up in Osaka and go visit our friends. I know a bunch of people in Japan, Japanese quilt makers. Ryoko owns a quilt shop. We could go and hang out and do it, you know? Hannah, you're coming.
Cool.
Will you come?
I have, because just the fashion alone, yes.
Yes, the fashion alone. Ugh, the Harajuku girls. I want it all. I want to do it all. Okay. I have contacts, people. I have contacts. Oh my God, Hannah, you got flagged. I had to approve your comment.
I know.
That's hilarious. I love it when people
As
get
I said,
flagged.
loser.
Somebody got flagged for saying, it was Carrie Dell. She was like, that blew me away, or like she's like, this blows me away, and it was like that's hilarious. So we're doing two more, and then we got to cut out.
Okay.
I grew gray hair tonight. So okay, how about this one?
Just my desk looks like NORAD. I have so many screens, and like I look like I'm in Minority Report. I'm gonna like go solve some pre-crime because I have literally every screen in this house is on, and just like it's
NORAD.
no, it totally is, and it's dumb because it's like even with all of these things, you can't see me, and there's like I have to wait for like a month and a half for like 90 days for like the picture to show up. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I mean, I was running around.
I've drunk 5/8 of a bottle of wine and I feel nothing. That is how stressful this has been.
I mean, I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I stole a cord for a lamp from the Iowa Quilt Museum. I mean, I'm putting it back, don't worry. But like, I was like, Mom, do you have this cord? Jack, do you have this cord? Rebecca, do you have a cord? It's got like a thing on it. And they're like, no. And I was like, it doesn't matter. And then I came to the Iowa Quilt Museum and I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to use this lamp. Oh my God. And like, it was the cord I needed. Still didn't matter. Anyway. So, okay. So let's do two more. We're going to look at this quilt. We're going to look
I can see it.
Oh, good. Okay, so it arrived. It came through
It's there. Yes.
It was on a trunk line through the ocean, and it finally arrived.
Yeah, totally.
So this is the game we're playing. What year was this quilt made? What year was this quilt made?
All right, date that quilt.
Date that quilt, meow meow. Date that quilt, meow meow. Oh.
I mean, this is one of those ones that I feel like could go a couple of different ways. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of free-form style. It's not a crazy quilt per se.
Yeah.
It's got sort of a subway tile thing going on.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of an unusual layout choice for like to make it like an old quilt. So that says to me that it might be more modern. But the fabrics look like they could be of older vintage.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
But then also too, the color washing kind of composite. This could be either from the 20s or from I'd say the 20s to 70s or like literally 5 years ago.
Oh, God, you're good. The 20s, the 70s, or 5 years ago. Let's see what other people have to say. 90 days. I know, Carrie, right? Okay, so 2010. Beverly's Butter, great. Love it. Word and Bernard says there's some toile in there, so what's up with that? Wonky Quilter, I think 1998. Very Laura Ashley or the Hamptons. Love it. Excellent.
This totally looks like you could buy it at Anthropology.
Yes. Oh, I just showed the date's actually at the bottom of it, which I didn't realize, but I showed it before, but that's fine. Myra says 2013. She's like, it's recent, which Hannah, you mentioned too. You're like, it could be from the 20s. I like that. The 20s, the 70s, or today, or like 5 years ago. Interesting.
Like 5 years ago.
1932. Susan R. Michael's like, I'm taking it back. Penny's like 1940s to 1960s. This thing is mid-century. I know mid-century when I see it. That Madras plaid. Please, people, come on. Drink Wine and Solon says 1979-ish, the year of my birth. 1987. Scrappadude's like, I know 1980. I know the 80s. I was, I'm hip to that.
Fair.
I know it when I see it. 87, 1920. Pam is like, no, it's earlier. Yes, 2015. Fascinating. God, I love this. Robin has got two screens up watching two different streams. I love that. Also, Robin, what's your guess? 1932. Okay. Carrie says, I don't know, Jack, but I love it. I love you. The fabrics don't look modern, Myra says, but there are a ton of solids, although not modern solids. Oh, God. One day, you know what? There's going to be a quilt nerd event, right? And we'll just play this game all night long. In person, it'll be great. I have no idea. Satin, silk, velvet. Okay, so what is the crack up? Stephanie says, I'm going to say 2000s or 1979. Here we go. This is Susan Hoffman, and it is 2008. And I thought it was an interesting one because Susan Hoffman, some of you will know, Susan Hoffman was working with Molly Upton in the 1970s. Molly Upton, famous quilter, but Molly and Susan Hoffman were working together, very closely. They were really on the same trajectory, and they called their quilts tapestries. And they were exhibiting in New York in the 70s, Nan, and it was all the rage, and they were really at the forefront. And so this is interesting to me because it's a very, very Susan Hoffman. If you know her work, it's very Susan Hoffman. Often duplicated, never. What is that? Often imitated.
Imitated, never duplicated.
Never duplicated. Yeah. And what's interesting, Hannah, you said there's fabrics that look older. But that's the thing about dating quilts is that you can't date a quilt by the newest fabric in it, not the oldest, right? Because you could have a scrap bag from your grandma.
Oh, of course.
Doesn't that make sense?
Well, sure, but you can. You can't buy fabric from the future.
Exactly. That's it. You can't. Okay, you finally said it in a way that is the best way to say it. You can't buy fabric from the future. So if you look at an old quilt, the newest fabric is the latest it could have been made. Right. Because you can't buy fabric in the future. Of course. But you might have your great grandmother's fabric bag and you're using scraps from freaking 1850, so the newest fabric is how you date the quilt. So there's a lot of older fabric in here, and you can tell. I mean, you can just tell. But, she made it in 08, and we know that because, look at that. It's called Elements of Life. Susan Hoffman, Elements of Life, 2008. Interesting, right? That's right. Yeah, that's right, Kenny. Okay, Padma does point out, God bless you, that if you have a time machine, you can buy fabric from any time in history. That's true. It's true, Padma. It's true. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, this is great. God. Ugh. We should have just looked at this quilt all night, and that would have been enough, wouldn't it? Quilts, meow, meow. Meow, meow, quilts, meow, meow.
That is good.
It's good, isn't it?
It's a good ass quilt.
It's real nice. Remember, I remember how Oba used to say that. That's real nice.
It's like, that's real nice.
Totally. How's he doing? How's Oba?
He's good. Actually, he's gonna come. We're gonna hang out after Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's gonna come to the city. Yeah.
I love that. That's great. Okay, so let's look at this. What year was this made? I know Scrapitude. I'm telling you. Kitty loves it too. She's into it.
Yeah. I mean, there's not none of these colors, and this is one of this is an example of a quilt that's greater than the sum of its parts aesthetically for me, because it's like I don't like any of those colors. I don't like the little stripy florally thing in the corners, but all put together, dopeness.
Dopeness indeed. So
it's old as
year?
Hell because yeah. I mean, it's got to be old as hell because it's all the edges are crinkly. I can see staining on it. And also too because of the color palette, though I suspect that there could be some fading at work here. Mm-hmm. Can you zoom out a little bit?
I sure can. Hang on one second.
Okay, you may have zoomed out 90 days ago.
You know what? I haven't, Hannah. So, but in about give it about 2 minutes, and you'll see the zoom out.
Okay, cool.
It'll be great. It'll be great. It's gonna be so good. It's great. I'm in the future, and it's awesome.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm going to have to say on this one, I'm going to go with, and it's probably because of the fading that's leading me astray, but this feels Dust Bowl-ish to me, and I'm going to have to say like 20s-ish, early 30s.
Oh, yeah, great. Dust Bowl.
This is like something that's going to be in the back of a Studebaker, trying to get the hell out of Oklahoma.
Not a Studebaker. Are you
a Studebaker, you heard me.
Do you all realize how grateful I am to be from the family I'm from? Believe me, we have our issues, okay? Believe me. But Hannah, my sister drops Studebaker, she's dropping Studebakers. You know what I mean?
I talk about them all the time. I probably have not uttered that word.
I know.
I probably have not uttered that word.
You probably.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. She's like,
that quilt belongs.
Yeah. Yes.
There's little kids there's some little like grubby footed kid in a cotton drill dress sitting on a back quilt folded up in the back of a Studebaker heading to hell across the Oklahoma flats. to get to California, find a better life. I don't know.
Okay, what does the chat have to, I mean, I'm just speechless, Hannah. What does the chat have to say? Okay, people are saying, Padma, keep this grounded. Okay, I love this quilt. Susan loves it. Same. 1870. People are saying 1870 so far is the earliest. Let me see. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So Kathy's like 1870 could be. Myra's like mid-century. And let's see. What do we got? Wonky Quilter also her favorite tonight. 1943. People are coming in mid-century a little bit. I feel like an auctioneer. Coming in mid-70. Some people say no. 1988. Beverly's going. You know what I love, Beverly? I just want to give you a shout out. Thank you for watching tonight, and you have been right there with your guesstimates. You know, coming in. You're not chatty tonight, but you're like, you know what? I have something to say. I'm gonna play this game, and I just wanted to say that I appreciate you. You don't even have to say anything, but I see you. I appreciate you watching. The show's nuts tonight. We have a good time, right? We do, right? Yeah, I don't think you'd be watching if you weren't having a good time. Okay, 1900, Stephanie's taken it back. 1931, says Saucy Stitcher. So she's right there with you, Hannah, with the Studebaker. I don't know about cars, but I know about the Dust Bowl, and that's kind of the era we're talking about. It's old because it's yellow.
Oh, it's a moonshine quilt. Yes, Druid Godmother.
Moonshine. Carrie's taking it back. She's down there with Word and Bernard going pre-20th century. Pam is saying, I think the fabrics look really old, like late 1800s, early 1900s. Ooh, girl, we're going back. Carrie's still laughing about 90 Day. Same. Yes, right, exactly. Scrapitude. 1900. Fascinating. God, I love this game. Why is it so interesting? It's just because we know about quilts and we know what all those. When you all give a date, I think that's what it is when you all say a year, when you guess a year, all of what I know, and I assume this is for you too, all of what you know about quilts and quilt history kind of floods into your brain. And so like when Miss Elaney, when you say 1925, you say it for a reason. And I just want to pause and say, like, hell yeah. Like, if you're saying 1925, it's because you have a context for what quilts were like in 1925. I would say between, 1915 to 1930, whatever. You're like, I'm going to say this because you're not just picking a date out of nowhere. We're playing this game because it's fun, and it's fun because you know stuff. And I just wanted to, like, point that out and, like, encourage you and, like, give you props because you're saying that because you know about quilts, right? And I love that. I think it's so cool. 1934, Scrapitude. 1934. Druid Godmother says Studebaker just this week. Look, Druid Godmother said Studebaker just this week, Hannah. You're among friends.
Yes, I read that. Oh, no, we're having a conversation about it.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm behind. Okay, here we go.
This quilt was wrapped around a bunch of, like, brown bottles with XXX printed on them.
Remember, Druid's the one who calls me
Because it's a moonshine quilt.
Druid calls me sugar.
Yeah, so, I know.
Yeah, we're all in good.
We've been having a whole conversation. We're gonna be cat sitting for each other. Like it's.
Is she? Are you around? Are you in New York? Druid?
No, and that's just the vibe that we have going on.
Got it. Okay, here we go, y'all. Are you ready for this?
All right.
Loretta Petway, 1945. It's G's Bend.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes. And now that you know, it is from Alabama in 1945. 20 years before the movement brought Martin Luther King down to Alabama to speak in the Bend. Loretta Petway was making quilts that would shake the world to the foundation. Not just the quilt world, but the art world too. This is Loretta Petway from G's Bend, Alabama, and God help us. You know what? You see kind of the same G's Bend quilts. The quilts from G's Bend, there's many of them. I think the golden age was, like 1930, 1935 is maybe the earliest one that I've seen to like 19, like the Freedom Quilting Bee, right? So like 19, let's call it 1940 to 1980, like that to me is the G's Bend, like golden age. But you know what? Until you get the big books, and I had a quilt nerd send me a wonderful G's Bend quilt book that I adore, that I didn't have some time ago last year. Anyway, if you really dig into the books of the G's Bend quilts, you start to see way more than you see on an internet search. And of course, the quilts that you find when you search for G-Spin quilts on the internet are amazing, but you tend to see the same things, right? That amazing Britchie quilt with the lines in the middle, which might also be Loretta Petway. I don't know. Maybe Anime Young.
That's been my experience.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, because this doesn't instantly strike me as G-Spin, but now that you say it, I'm like, oh well, clearly.
Totally
but
right. Yeah. Like it just
off the top of my head, I was like, not really.
It's just exquisite. Like God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. God damn! Look at this thing. I mean, look at this.
The asymmetry.
I know.
Like the asymmetrical placement of the stars, and like it just, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's really good.
It's really good. It's just really good. There's just no two ways about it. And the way that these stars have faded at the top, like the white ones, right? There's 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Those were non-color fast red
I didn't even
dots,
see them.
Right? That was in Hannah. We started with turkey red, and
Gotcha.
I meant to do this. No, I didn't. This is the good Lord bringing us a gift for sticking it out, because we started the show with a turkey red quilt. Turkey red is a color fast dye that wasn't available until the 1880s, and when people had it, they were so excited. When quilters had it, they could make quilts with red fabric and it would stay red. But so the red fabrics that are still red were made with color fast dye, okay? But the stars that are white, they were made with red fabric, but the red faded away. It's called a fugitive dye. It didn't stay.
Fugitive. Oh my gosh, I love
right?
it. Yeah, of course. You know what? And I've heard that phrase, and it never really stuck because I wasn't really quite sure what that meant. And now this makes it. And I have to say, I mean, I think it's honestly, I think it's compositionally stronger for for having faded.
Same. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been gorgeous and amazing. I had no notes had the reds stayed red, but the fact that they didn't. That asymmetry is just like,
it's
so
crazy.
Cool.
It's crazy. And one other thing to say about it, and it's so important, I think, is, I just can't get a quilt to be perfect, right? Or whatever. Like, I make mistakes. And believe me, when you're sewing on television and you make mistakes, or you sew on television and you do it perfectly, because it's easy to do something perfectly on TV when you're doing it once. Like, but when you make a quilt that's not perfect, and like, you're supposed to know how to do everything, because you know what I mean, Hannah? Like, when I was doing stuff with Mom, like, I don't know how to sew perfectly. Like, are you kidding me? And by the way, Mom didn't sew the stuff for the show, and neither did I. Someone else prepped all the stuff for the show. And I mean, obviously, I know how to make quilts, and I've made a bunch of them. Okay, and I was sewing on the show, but like, the producer does the step outs, because there's no way that somebody has to do that. Okay, it's like a cooking show where you're cooking a turkey, and then they're like, okay, and then once the turkey's done, we have one ready now. Like, you have to prepare all of the steps that you're going to show people ahead of time. And
of course,
someone does that who's the best sewist ever, right? So anyway, so there was an expectation for me that I knew how to do everything perfectly, and that when I would make a quilt, it would be that good, that the sewing expert who was doing all those step outs, she's, that I would be as good as her, and I'm not. And so I'm saying that because look at the points, right, on the side. They do not end perfectly before the binding comes over. In fact, the star points may have been just perfectly fine, nice little points like they are on the right hand as you're looking at it over there. But the binding comes up over the back, and it covers the points of the star, okay? And you know what? It's totally cool. It is completely fine. It is beautiful. You're gonna tell me that there's something not right with this quilt? You go ahead. You try to make your case, okay? And then I'll push back on you. But just anybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would put it. I mean, the way I would look at something like this is like, if I'm painting something or whatever, and it's like, I love symmetry. I love to have things be, visually balanced and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, but it doesn't have to. Visual balance doesn't have to mean like mathematic perfection.
Yes, right.
And also, I think there's really something to be said for being able to see the hand of the maker in it.
Yes.
And if something comes out like it just was made if it looks like it was made by a machine, I mean, like for example, the gentleman's wooden quilts, right?
Yeah, the wooden quilts.
That's amazing. Those are extraordinary, right?
Yes.
And this might not be that great of a comparison, but I'm just saying that, like, to me, something has more charm and humanity in it if you can see the hand of the person who made it. So if I see, quote unquote errors,
like little measuring flubs and stuff like that. It's like, well, I can relate to that because that shit happens. Excuse me, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
So like, so if something looks like it was made by a machine, then and you find out that a person made it, like a photorealistic painting or something like that, it's like, well, it's technically staggering, right? You cannot believe that a human hand pulled this off.
Yeah.
And that's impressive in its own way. But then I think there's also a lot of charm and warmth and enjoyment. I find it actually more pleasurable to look at something that I can see the hand in. Yeah. Whereas if I want to be impressed, take the hand away. If you want to charm me and like make me feel connected to the maker, show me the little screw ups.
Connected to the maker and thereby connected to your fellow man.
Yes.
And look how the star did go to the edge and it's worn through, the binding worn through, and you can see the edge of the star. I mean,
sure.
Stephanie,
it's just the binding. That was just the back,
Yeah. Stephanie, I saw your comment that this is like officially your favorite G-Spin quilt. I mean, yeah, same. I mean, it's just it's just pretty great. So everybody, that is the show tonight. Well done on the game. Obviously, the point of the game is not the points. The point is the game. Playing the game. I could go back to the main screen, but I fear I'm doing it. Who cares? I don't care. All my lipstick's gone.
Hugs and Studebakers. Hell yes, Penny Catherine.
Studebakers and what?
Penny Catherine said hugs and Studebakers.
Hugs and Studebakers. Listen, y'all, thank you so much. It really is pretty wild to do something that's so technically difficult live. So you can run tech all night, but until you hit that live button, there's this whole other element that goes into it because now you're on the internet. Like you can do your tech, but then once you start streaming, there's this whole other part of it. And so I just really appreciate it. I won't belabor it. I appreciate you tonight, sticking it out. And I think, it does, if you let it go, like if you just let it go, like it is pretty, it's fun. Like I just tried to be like, who cares? Doesn't matter. Let's just, have a good time. And that's what we did. And I loved tonight's show. So thanks for, hanging in there. And Hannah, you too. And Stephanie, Hannah, I don't know where you are. I'm starting to worry about you. I think you're falling on hard times. I think you and Lou are out jangling a cup. Because you disappeared and I don't know, Hannah.
We're working the corner of Avenue A and 11th Street. Just, Lou's out there. Yeah, he's got a little cup. Just put him out there, make him look super pitiful.
Hannah, give him a little hobo sack. Give him a little stick with a hobo sack, please.
A bendel stick.
Will you please give Lou a hobo stick and just Photoshop it? Give your dog a little hobo stick and Hannah, put a hat on him and put the hat where the top is hanging off. You know what I mean? The top hat with the top hanging.
Well, listen, I have to tell you this. So
go ahead.
So among my several occupations, right? I'm a strength and conditioning coach at this fight gym, martial arts gym in Brooklyn. And I am the co-chair of our social committee because in addition to, punching and kicking and choking our friends, we also like to hang out with them. So we are doing
I've seen you do it.
On December. Yeah. So we teach Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I do the strength part of that, all that stuff. So anyway, so this idea came to me in the shower one night. I was like, oh my gosh, the name of the gym is Diamond Heart, right? Yeah. So I'm like, in a couple of weeks, we're doing this event called Diamond Art because we have so many interesting creative people who train with us.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, and so we're doing like an art exhibition / like holiday craft sale. And so we have all these, a bunch of people bringing, paintings and photographs, and some people do crafts and silk screen t-shirts. And so my co-chair, my friend Christina, was just like, oh my God. She's like, I assume Lou will be, bringing some artwork to share with us.
Lou is Hannah's dog.
And I'm just like,
in case you don't know.
Lou's my dog.
The cutest dog ever.
And so I was just like, oh my God. So I picked up some 4-inch by 5-inch little canvas boards. And we are going to use Lou's tail on his paws and some watered down acrylic, and we are going to make little paintings, and he's going to sell them from a little table. And I have a little black turtleneck for him, so he looks appropriately arty.
Lou needs a little beret.
If I can swing the beret, I will swing the beret. And I might even draw a little mustache on his upper lip with eyeliner. I don't know.
Lou
Like
will
a
do
little
it.
curly mustache.
Lou will do it. He'll be like,
he'll
what
do
do you
it.
need me to do? Yes,
Yeah, he's
I'll
game.
do it.
Yeah, and then of course we'll donate any proceeds to the art that he sells to a local animal support shelter.
Hannah, where can we find images of this? Do we follow you on Instagram, perhaps?
Yes, you may follow me on Instagram. I will enter my Instagram handle in the chat. There will always be pictures. My Instagram consists mostly of my own artwork, pictures of various parties and ridiculous events that I go to, and my dog.
She hangs out with
And
really
occasionally
good-looking people.
lifting
I'm
heavy
just saying.
things.
Objectively good-looking people. Her Instagram's a good time. It's true. It's true. Are you still
And
here?
there we go.
All right, well, that's the. I look forward
thanks,
to
Kate.
it, Stephanie. Listen. I've got a. Whoa, my puppet has. Oh my God, my puppet has a. My puppet has a space for I can work her mouth. There's like a. Hold on.
Oh, meow meow.
Oh my God. Meow 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 meow. Hold on. Oh my God, how am I supposed to do that? But no, there's like
You gotta pick hands or mouth.
hands.
Wait.
It's weird. It's weird.
Mouth is weird.
Okay. Anyway, Stephanie, I was saying to you that you are a good woman. You are long-suffering, and thank you for holding it down, holding me down. Really,
My pleasure.
you were like, it's supposed to be fun. I was like, thank you. So good night, everybody. Please be safe. And it's the Thursday is Thanksgiving. On Saturday, we're going to take a tour of downstairs, the Iowa Quilt Museum, the exhibit that's going on. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And even if, you know what, if you're not with anybody, because sometimes you're not. And those years are kind of weird, but you can watch past episodes of Quilt Nerd. I'm not kidding you. What are you going to do with yourself? What are you going to watch, Netflix? Come on. You watch Quilt Nerd and you look at old episodes and you hang out with us. And if you're feeling lonesome, you just rewind to this part and you say, you know what? Mary said, Happy Thanksgiving. And she said, screw them if they can't take a joke anyway. And who needs it? You know, you just find the people that you like and you hang out, you know,
And enjoy some unstructured time for crying out loud.
That's right. It's okay. We love you and we'll be here when it's not Thanksgiving. So don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about it. No, just fine. It's fine. You're fine. It's totally fine. You're fine.
Totally fine.
Whether you're alone or with your family, Thanksgiving, or you know what, whether you're in the U.S. or not, Thanksgiving Day is meant to be a day of carbs. And there are no calories associated with said carbs on this one day a year. So just eat until you're happy.
Yes, it's true. And when we come back on Saturday, and definitely next week, it's Spartan, man. We're just going to be eating celery sticks and smoking cigarettes. So it's totally fine. Okay.
Totally fine.
Good night,
Super
everybody.
healthy.
Hannah, that was a blast. Stephanie, thank you so much. Everybody,
Absolutely.
thank you. What fun. Seriously. Take care
All right.
and travel safe.
Let me check later.
Don't drink and drive. Don't do it. If you
No,
don't,
jeez.
please don't. It's not okay. Just get an Uber. Just sleep it off at where you're at, even if it's your weird cousin's house. I don't know. Just don't drink and drive. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you soon.